Hi everyone, welcome to Rebels Football Academy. Football is on a constant race in India, but still, a lot of us have a lot of questions regarding the sport. It's one of the most loved sports across the world, so in India. But then, as an audience or as an aspirant, a lot of people have a lot of questions regarding the sport as to how to go ahead about it, how to take it as a career, what is to be done, where to go, what to study, what next, and what's the future, and so on. So we have Mr. Preetham Chandra with us today, who is the CEO of Rebels Football Academy, and who is one of the biggest fans of the sport, and also who has done so much towards the football ecosystem. So today I'm here to ask a few questions regarding the sport and also the ecosystem, and also as an audience as to how to go ahead about the game. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, firstly, before I get into the main topic, I would like to know why football? Like, firstly, like what made you uh, take it up as a profession and then start the Rebels Football Academy and such stuff?
So personally, I played badminton through my school days. Then we found football at a very later stage in the school days. I think around 10th standard. Football somehow brought a lot of people together, unlike the individual sports, and I felt that it created a sense of community and belongingness amongst a group of friends, and that's something that we love doing, and that gave us a reason to get together every evening and actually come out and spend time with each other in the name of the sport. And that's how it initially began. But then slowly we started falling in love with the sport because back then there was World Cup happening in Brazil, which was telecasted here in India, and we saw the flair of the game and how people came together and the happiness that it brought to so many people's life, and the sense of celebration community is something that really sparked the love for the game with us. And somehow after when we started playing, we all actually fell in love with the game. In the truest sense, we started understanding the rules of the game. We started understanding what it takes to be a player. And a lot of us after school days, we went to different colleges. And then because we were in the football was only in such a nascent stage in India back then, few of us who had good physical abilities, we got picked up in teams and we started playing decent football, I would say. And because of which we started playing competitions and we started enjoying it more and more. And through the days, me, after when I was growing up, I was a very shy kid because I don't have any siblings in my family. So it was very hard for me to open up to people and talk to people in um, general public settings. Like people used to ask me, come out, talk, and do more stuff, and I always used to feel shy in a sense. And I think football is when I started playing with friends, with a lot of people. I found that voice that I could actually talk to people, and during this entire scheme of things, I started realizing that I could be someone who can get people together. And back then there was this text SMS that I used to use to call all my friends to come and play together every day. Every day I used to, in the afternoons, I used to message everyone individually. Back then WhatsApp didn't exist, and then I used to get everyone together. And during this process, somehow people felt that I can bring people together, and that sense of quality, that sense of identity is something that I started relating it to more. And I thought, okay, this is something that maybe I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
And a group of friends, we used to play together, so they gave me a captain's armband on a birthday of mine, and that really triggered something in my mind. And I thought, okay, people are viewing me as an individual in a certain aspect, and I think that gave some kind of a purpose, where I thought I can bring people together and I can start doing something through football. And during this phase, I really came out of my shell of being a shy kid, and I started connecting with people more, started playing tournaments. Whenever I used to travel, I started conversing with maybe tournament organizers, referees, and I felt that kind of purpose coming out of me, and I feel that's one of the reasons why I chose football, and yeah, that's why we are here now.
So when you say that you chose football to build a community of your own, and then you were a single child, and that's why you wanted something that can bring people together and towards you. Now, when we think about sports in India, the first question, be it any sports for that matter, the first thing that comes to mind is cricket. So why do you think that kind of a thing is prevailing in our country? Do you think it's the way that Indians are built, or do you think it's just the propaganda about a particular sport, or do you think it's the TV and the media coverage that the sport is getting, or the investments that the sport is getting? Because football is one of the most popular sports across the world, but unlike in India, now that it's on a constant race, there are a lot of people, as we can see, there are a lot of students who are like choosing football as a career. But still, even till today, even in 2025, people always have this question when it comes to football as to why can't it be cricket? Because as you can see, there are a lot of people who become celebrities after playing cricket, and then there are a lot of people like who have been shown that they're doing good when they play cricket. So why do you think that has happened in our country?
See, it's a very big misconception in India saying that cricket is on the face because that's how it's marketed. But when you actually look at the statistics, we are one of the biggest football consuming country in the world. What I mean to say by that is, take the biggest leagues in the world. It could be EPL or La Liga, everywhere, right? When we watch the sport, we are the biggest consumers of the sport. Like with such big population, even in Europe, not many people are there. In India, it's massive, it's rampant, and we have always been this. Not only now, from the past decades where Beckham used to be there, Alex Ferguson used to be there.
Yeah.
We have always been consuming football. It's just that we have not been able to produce players. But the love for the sport in India is and always will be at a very high stage. We have not been able to create heroes on a national scale, on an international scale. That's why we feel we are not doing so well. But if you look at pockets of India, if you go to Kolkata has created its own set of heroes where they are celebrated like they are demigods, right? The same way when it comes to Bengaluru FC and what Bengaluru FC has done to Bengaluru football, like we consider Sunil Chetri to be one of the demigods of football. The same way Kerala has produced a lot of talent. So locally there are heroes who have come up and it is celebrated in that space. So that is one aspect, and as I told you, we are one of the biggest consumers of European football, to an extent where European football is designed so that we can consume it in the timings. A lot of matches they have started to plan in a way that India consumes it on TV, because that's how much of an audience that India is giving world football. And when it comes to even the World Cups and everything, right, we are the biggest consumer. So the love for the game is always predominantly there. It's just that on an international level, we have not been able to produce heroes, icons, so that we feel that people can become that. Now, yes, last decade or so, we have Chetri, and before that Baichung Bhutia were there. We have created only one or two people who are shining on the world stage, but we need to do it very, very on a higher scale, and that is happening now. A lot of kids are being picked from India to play in European academies, and there's a lot of dearth of grassroots development. Now, also on the flip side, cricket is being played by only a small number of countries, right? Whereas football, we are at 120 odd ranking. That means so many countries are actively playing the sport. So the competition is on a very high scale. And cricket, when we won the World Cup, which is why cricket became popular, maybe there were 8 to 10 teams only in the World Cup. So it was, the chances of it happening is more. When you look at Asia only, the spots that we have in the World Cup, in FIFA World Cup, is only 8 out of so many countries. So it's a much more competitive sport, and it is taking us much more time to get to that level. But I feel, in India right now, in metros at least, a lot of parents have taken more interest in football than cricket, because when you go to the sport, when you see your kid playing, even if it is like a 40 minutes game, your kid is active, your kid is constantly running, so the parent is also involved, because of which now we are having that more and more interest of parents coming and supporting the sport, which was non-existent some time back. And also the infrastructure was not there. Like, see, for a cricket you put 3-4 nets and you can start practicing it, but for football you need a predominantly a good infrastructure, good safety measures to be taken in a field, which is what is happening now. So it's slowly picking up.
So, like you said, football is one of the most, one of the most difficult sports because it involves a lot of physical fitness, unlike any other sports. So, do you think Indian parents are a little more scared on that aspect about a child? Because I'm just asking this from a parent's perspective.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to cricket, you obviously, like, the child does fall, they do have injuries and all these things. But when it comes to a sport like football or rugby or baseball or anything, the amount of injuries that a student or a child can have is
Yeah.
massive. Like,
Yeah.
you yourself, as you've had a lot of injuries, like, while
Yeah.
you were like playing the sports. So do you think the Indian so Indians are fit enough to take football in the world arena? Like, for example, when you see all these footballers,
Yeah.
from just a audience perspective, they're so tall, well built, and then very well fed. When you see them, you'll understand as to how physically fit they are.
Yeah.
But do you think India has that potential, that ability of fitness of taking this football in the world?
Yeah. See, one thing is, every sport has its own pros and cons. Um, I wouldn't say cricket is less easier to play or anything. Even that has its own sets of injuries. When you take a test match, someone bowling through the day, someone batting through the day, of course, it's also very tasking. So every sport has its own kind of hurdles that you have to go through. See, now when you're saying this with respect to people being scared in India, I would like to ask the question, we are so good at wrestling and boxing, right? We do so good in Olympics. That is also a contact sport.
Absolutely.
So if Indians can actually go and fight the biggest of the people there, when we can take Olympic medals in weightlifting, where again now here people who are strong, people, it's about physical abilities, right? Here more than anything.
Absolutely.
So when we can actually do that there, physical abilities, that shows that Indians are on the same scale as the world. So I wouldn't say that that's a challenge. That's definitely not the challenge. For example, you take Messi is one of the smallest people compared to everyone. So that doesn't matter. Physical nature, abilities does not matter. In a football, when you see a team, you can see different sizes of people, right? And you have to adapt. We are a different countries in a country. So we
Yeah.
are so diverse that we have every ability. If you take nooks and corners of India, we have people from maybe Punjab or Kashmir who are very well built, very well built.
Yeah.
We have people from Northeast who are very agile. So we are many countries in a country itself. So I think we have enough talent and enough physical attributes to actually, to actually put up a good team in on the world stage.
All right. So now that we are talking about a student, for example, who's studying in his primary or something, who's like really aspirant about football, so who wants to take up football as a profession. So what would you like to tell to this, particular child or somebody? Because obviously this child in our Indian society will be questioned as to why are you not becoming a doctor, as to why you're not becoming an engineer. What do you think you're gonna do becoming a footballer? You think you're gonna get selected somewhere? You think you're gonna go and play for the world or something? Or do you think you're gonna earn enough? Or do you think you can take care of your family?
Yeah.
Apart from this very minute number of population who really understand as to what exactly these sports can or sports or this particular sport can do to your life, there are a lot of parents who also have this question in their mind as to why my son should become a footballer or a sports person. Why can't he become somebody like a doctor or an
Yep.
engineer or an artificial intelligence scientist or an astronaut or something of that sort? So what do you like to say to such parents and students, like, who have these doubts in their mind as to will they be able to see being successful and not being successful is all it's all destiny, But if a person pursues football as a career, do you think he'll have a stable career?
See, so there are multiple levels of how do you pursue your passion, right? So, for example, you are planning to become a footballer. Doesn't mean that yes, your end goal is to become a professional footballer, but the education that you get along the way to become a footballer is massive. For example, you will learn how to coach people, you will learn about the biomechanics of your body, you will learn about the analyst bit, you will learn about um, um, the physiotherapy, the recovery, the strengthening. There are so many aspects that you learn when you are playing football that can also become a career. So it depends on what gives you that spark. Yes, one is yes playing on the field and actually winning trophies or winning with your teammates. Yes, that is at the end of the day we all want to do that. But you see a lot of people who have actually gotten into coaching. A lot of big uh, uh, players now who have won the World Cup before have become coaches. And at the end of the day, there is so many other career opportunities that football opens up. Our sports ecosystem requires so many well educated people that parents need to start realizing that there is a massive career opportunity there, and it is a very nascent stage. Parents need to understand this is what, like engineering, like tech companies was there like 15 years ago, right? When you learned coding and you could get a very good job. The same thing with respect to football. If you are smart enough and you learn certain aspects of football, you will still get jobs and good jobs. And football as a business, as a sport, right? It's a very big industry, not only in India, even in abroad. People will say, okay, you can go abroad and study maybe masters or MBA or something, right? The same thing with sports also, sports management, sports science, sports analytics. It's very big, and it need not be once you learn few things through football, you can definitely deploy it in different sports. So at that time, the world becomes your playground. You can do so many other things. So parents need to get out of this small mindset that okay, now if he doesn't become a football player, his life is going to end. Absolutely not. The same thing today. People who learned something 10 years back, now it's been replaced by artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot be scared about that. But you need to be sure that okay, my kid is learning something during this process.
Yeah.
He's not just being stagnant. That's something that parents have to take confidence and actually push their kids into saying that if you're passionate, you will definitely make something out of it.
Yeah.
And today, the knowledge and information availability is so high that any kid who's smart will be able to actually apply that and actually do something about that.
So basically, you would like to say that it all depends on the quality and not just the quantity. So it's better to be unique and it's better to do what you're best at than doing what people think that you should be best at. So yeah. So now coming to the main topic, coming to the main point. So now to help such people, in fact, to help such parents, to all these football aspirants, to people who really want to contribute to the football, to the football ecosystem, and then to contribute to Indian football, and to all these people, to all these diverse people, there is one amazing plan that you have in your mind, and that is Rebels Foundation,
Yeah.
right? So now, of course, if there is something good that has to be done, it cannot be done by a single person. You might be the founder of Rebels. You are the CEO. You are working day in and day out to contribute to the football, to Indian football for that matter. But this cannot happen from one single individual because it's a very big thing. It's a massive thing, and if Indian football has to survive and if it has to become one in our culture, we need contribution from everybody, from people of different walks of life. So Rebels Foundation is something that is focusing on that. So firstly, I would like to ask you what Rebels Foundation is.
Yeah. So Rebels Foundation is our CSR wing where um, we are trying to give back to the sport what we got. When I say that, Rebels in itself was a community formed because of football. It's a group of friends who came together and formed the club formed the idea through which the idea has become right now an educational institution for football. So we want to give back as much as possible to the game that we love. So when I say that, we are looking at creating heroes through football, through Rebels Foundation's different initiatives that we have, so that more people can look at these heroes and get inspired and come into the football ecosystem. So it's very important for us to understand what is lacking in Indian football and what is the gap that is there and how we can bridge that gap. Rebels Foundation is something where we are trying to reach different parts of India, where we want to actually go to different pockets of India and get the best talent, and we want to enable them using our infrastructure, our expertise to give them the right kind of education that they want. We want to build them through the years, where we give them the right kind of mentorship, right kind of guidance, and we want to empower them with respect to the kind of education that they need to have. It's not only the football education, we also have to give them the right kind of traditional education where they can apply the skills that they have learned. Maybe it could be through physics, it could be math, to the field, and we want to, build their lives through sports. So that is what Rebels stand for. It's basically reach, enable, build, empower lives through sports, and that's something that we are trying to do through the foundation. The vision of the foundation is, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is trying to bring Olympics to India in 2036, and we want to see if we can create Olympic athletes who can represent our country in the Olympics, and we can actually produce some footballers who can help us get medals in the Olympics, and that is the main vision that we are working on. So we have like a 10-year plan that we will be implementing from. We have already started to implement. We already have got 15 students from across India right now who are staying with us, who are learning football, and we are trying to give them different opportunities and try to create some kind of pathway so that we get some success stories through which we can inspire more students to come and be a part of this project. That's something that we are doing now, and the main focus is where we can create an organization and sustainable institution which can forever be a place where anyone who loves football can come and learn and actually try to aspire to become an international player.
Great. So now that you told this beautiful acronym, about the Rebels Foundation, the first one is REACH. So now I would like to ask as to, do you have a target or a niche as to whom you want to reach?
Yeah.
Or do you want anybody to reach
Yeah, so-
you? Or
So we are, yeah, it can be both ways. It's a very good thing that you said. Yes, we also want to go out and reach people from different parts of India. We are working with different scouting networks. Our sporting director, Mr. Salman, who's in charge of this, he's already in touch with different pockets of India with different attributes. We also have a tie-up with a very big scouting platform called India Kelo Foundation, which is working on this extensively in different parts of the country. So we want to reach as many people as possible to tell them we are doing this. We are creating a platform like this, and yes, in the meanwhile, we also want more scouts or more coaches. If they have any talented people, we want them to
reach you.
reach out to us as well to give them trials. We are always conducting trials throughout the year. We have our own facility here, so they can definitely come anytime during the year, stay with us for a week, and give trials to become to get scholarship through the foundation.
So now the next word, enable. Like, yes, football needs to be enabled in India. When you see it as a sport as whole, because recently there was this ISL league. When I was like looking into news and all this Instagram stories, this was one of the biggest football league in India, if
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
right. So this league was cancelled due to some,
Yeah.
political.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it as drama. It could be anything. It's
Yeah.
our system at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So this is one of the biggest football league wherein every student who's
Yeah.
in an academy who would want to play. In
Yeah.
India, this was one of the biggest leagues.
Yeah.
So this was closed recently, and
Yeah.
there were a lot of footballers. There were a lot of people who love sports were disappointed with this.
Yeah.
So through this foundation, who is it that has to be enabled? Do you want to enable the students? Do you want to enable the political system itself to realize as to what this sport can do to our country?
See, it is our we are hyper focused on enabling passionate individuals to exercise their passion at the maximum scale, and we really want to just create beautiful players who love the game. We want to create fit players who can play for a long time. We want to enable those individuals who do not have access to resources back home, and during this course, yes, we want to enable an ecosystem where we want to get coaches together, physios together, who want to learn from us. We want to do this, but our primary focus is we want to enable those individuals who don't have access to the infrastructure, the mentorship, the coaching, the nutrition, everything that is related to becoming a professional player.
Okay, and what B stands for?
Build.
Build. Okay.
Yeah, so we want to B stands for build. We want to build great athletes who are fit, who are strong, build them physically, build them mentally, build them spiritually, so that they can enjoy the game that is the way it is supposed to be enjoyed, and actually go ahead and represent our country and bring laurels to our country. And see, we want to build players who take football as an art, like, because football actually is an art. When you look at a beautiful play, it actually makes you smile, and that's something that we want to build individuals who start thinking on those lines.
Yeah. So, like you said, I was recently watching Mr. Sunil Chetri's podcast,
Yeah.
and there, towards the end of the podcast, he mentioned saying that when you build a sports person, be it a footballer, particularly a footballer, that means to say you are building a complete individual, a
Yeah.
complete holistic
Yeah.
individual. That means to say that this particular child is disciplined.
Yeah.
He knows what time to sleep and what time to get up.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to party.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to indulge in any other kind of lifestyle, and he knows what to eat and what not to eat,
Yeah.
and he knows how to take care of himself. Plus, he knows how to take care of others because it is a team sport.
Correct.
That means to say, when you encourage a child, when you build a child through football, that means to say you are building a whole community.
Correct.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
You're right.
So what does L stand for?
So there is a E after the build.
Yeah.
So
E,
we
okay.
want to empower individuals.
Mhm.
We want to empower their families, because a lot of students who want to really fight come from a place where they need help with respect to resources. They need help to someone to handhold them through their life, because at the end of the day, sport is a very scary profession to take because of the injuries involved. So we want to empower them. We want to empower their families, and educate them enough so that they know that this can be a career pathway on and off the field. And yeah, I think that's something we want to do. And L stands for lives. We really want to impact thousands of lives, thousands of families through the game. And S stands for sports. And right now we have picked football to begin with, and we want to branch out to different sports. But since the community that I am a part of and what gave me right now is football, we are concentrating on football because it's a game, it's a sport which brings a lot of people together, and it's a very fluid sport that brings everyone together. So yeah.
Great. So now that we've spoken so much about the Rebels Foundation, so what do you want people or anybody who's watching this, to do? Like, how is it that they can contribute? For example, if I'm a football fan, okay, so I would be watching football, I would be
Yeah.
encouraging and all these things, but I would also want to see, for example, if I like dogs, there are so many platforms wherein I can donate. I can make sure that that at least a single dog is fed well. It is taken care.
Yeah.
It is taken care. Its health is taken care and such stuff. So through this foundation, what is it that anybody who's a football fan or anybody who wants to support a player or football in general can do?
See, it's a so we are a country of 1.5 billion people, right? And a lot of us are passionate about the game. So many people watch teams which is in Europe, which is in England, which is in US or anywhere, and try to establish a sense of connection to it, a sense of community to it, and try to. They spend so much time watching the match, buying their apparels, going to places where they can get together and watch matches and everything, right? So I've always felt that we are wasting a lot of energy, and these are the same people who say that hey, Indian football is not growing. And how do we go about this? It is where all of us together who we love the sport, we should come together and contribute to such initiatives which is doing something for the sport. So for Rebels Foundation, we have a crowdfunding initiative where we are very transparent. We have on our Instagram page, on our website, we have put up the profiles of the students who we have given scholarship for. What are their abilities, what is their background, what do their parents do, so that when you get an entire picture of this, you can start by contributing a very small amount, maybe a monthly donation or an yearly donation, where you can maybe take care of a certain kid's education, certain kids' food requirements, nutrition requirements, clothing, certain kids' accommodation. If you feel like you want to buy studs for a student, you can definitely do that. And this is something that these small droplets will definitely help us create an ocean, and which will definitely help us actually make an impact in the larger sense. And also we are very hyper focused on the number of students that are going to be involved in this project. So any donation will definitely create a larger impact, and you can definitely reach out to us to know how you can contribute. That is one. And there are a lot of people who run big organizations who always would want to do something for a social impact, right? But not everyone have the time to go through who we have to contribute to, what we can donate, who are the people, are they doing the right things or not. So we really request people to come to our facility. We are based out of Devanalli. Come to our facility, see what we are doing here, meet the students who are here, and see if we can be a part of your CSR initiative, which will really help for us to create success stories. You can take it to your philosophy. We can see how we can work together with the company's philosophy, and we can see how we can actually contribute to the betterment of it. We cannot take it as a football only, but actually helping a passionate kid who's coming out of India, who's actually going to be the next hero coming out of India. At the end of the day, he can go ahead and become a footballer or not, but we always have to take solace in us by telling that we have actually enabled an individual who's coming from a resource challenged background. I think that is one of the ways that they can definitely be a part of this. And other than that, definitely with respect to their time, if someone is good at social media, if someone who want to handle our PR, if someone wants to handle our outreach program, if someone has some contacts in the government, if they can help us to reach out to the right people to get us some grants or funding, anything that you feel that you can contribute, if you are watching this and you feel there is some aspect of you that want to be involved, we would love to have a conversation to see how we can work together.
Yeah. So, like you just said, contribution, whether it is big or small, it doesn't matter. It is, at the end of the day, it is the confidence that matters. The confidence of a person to do something, and then it is at the end of the day, it is the consciousness that matters. So if anybody wants to do anything consciously towards the world of football or sports, so Rebels Foundation is up for it. It is something for the for more of a community sense than the sports itself. So yes, there are a lot of means wherein you can be a part of the Rebels Foundation. Like I said, be it, it's not just monetary.
Yeah.
Because yes, of course, like funds are necessary, and like I said, with one individual putting in all the efforts, nothing can be done. So funds are equally important. At the same time, if you're good at something, probably if you're the CEO of a company, or if there are so many employees, like who like football, probably you can get them to this facility, and if they really like whatever Rebels are doing, probably they can contribute. Or if you are an influencer, or if you are a celebrity, and if you are also a football fan, probably you can promote this on your page, and then let people know that something of this sort is happening towards Indian football. And like I said, contribution happens in all the ways. Yeah.
So yeah.
So thank you so much. So we'll do a lot of such, podcasts, like maybe, or interviews, or also I would like to talk to a lot of students, who've been in Rebels for so many years, who've done good to themselves and probably to their parents also. And then probably I think all of you will get a clear picture as to what Rebels is doing. So until then, so keep watching this
Yep.
space. So I'll be bringing up more such content, and in different forms. So thank you so much for watching, and thanks for being patient. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.